Hey guys, today's video is going to be slightly different, as you can see, because we have our vintage clothes behind us. We really love vintage clothes, and so we thought it might be fun to do a video about it. So we picked some of our favorite polyester to wear. We have two dresses here. They both come from my granny's house. We deep dived her closet and got them, but she did not make this one. I actually got this one just like a few weeks ago, and she said this really nice lady gave it to her, but it's been back there for since probably 1980. But Granny actually made Corey's dress, and we've actually had this dress for a long time. I'll put the link in the description. There's a video of us from a long time ago when maybe we were like 14 and or so, when I could barely play guitar. We hiked up. It was in the Smokies, I guess. I think it was Cataloochee.
It was in Cataloochee. Yeah.
We hiked up to this church to play, and I was wearing.
You
were wearing this dress. That's right. I was wearing a different dress, a really old dress. But anyways, there used to be a matching dress to this somewhere that was much smaller. This was Granny's. That was much smaller. That Mom wore. Mom had some little outfits that matched Granny's, which were really cool.
Dresses. That was really sweet. So, one word about our vintage clothing here. I always want to make this clear for myself. I like this stuff just because I like it. I don't want to do following the trends or the 70s and the 80s apparel is coming back, which is cool because I liked it. But it's not really about that for me because, I mean, we were wearing that stuff when we were 14 years old. I just have always liked the patterns of these clothes and the shirts and the dresses.
Yeah.
And so this isn't about being trendy for me. This isn't about being
we don't really
following anything.
Right. And we don't really want this to be like a fashion video because that would be kind of strange. That's not really us. We just like these clothes because they're old. And as I've said lots on the channel, we just have an affinity for old stuff, no matter what it is. Clothes, books, like dishes, just whatever. We just like old stuff.
And Corey mentioned this earlier, and she had a really good point. The reason that all of this is still here, it just goes to speak to the quality of what apparel was, furniture, all of it. You always go to old thrift shops and you see lots of stuff left over from the 60s, the 70s. I'll even venture on up into the 80s, and it's left because it speaks to how well it was made, that it's kind of lasted all that time. And pretty much everything here isn't a remake, isn't made to look new. This stuff come out of the 70s. This is original. Somebody was wearing this to a disco, Saturday Night Fever style, in 1970. So
right. And it is. I mean, it's still around, and that's one of the best things I think about older clothes. Really just like older stuff in general. It just was made better. Now, these days, they have to make more of it. They have to make it faster. They have to make it cheaper. And so, I understand they kind of have to cut on the materials. And thinking, too, about why we like them, partly why we like stuff like this is just because it's modest. I really honestly have a hard time shopping for clothes these days, unless maybe it's at a thrift store, which is mostly where we shop for clothes. But it's really hard. So many times, if you're in like a normal department store, I'll be going through the rack and I'll see a shirt maybe. And on the front, I'm like, okay, it's just a plain shirt. We don't like we like the pattern stuff like this, but I don't like a lot of weird like sequin stuff or
the cut, the actual line
cut,
of how it's made. Yeah.
But you might see the front of it and be like, yeah, this is great. And then you turn it to the back, and the back has a gigantic cutout in it.
Like the back is gone.
Yeah, like the back is gone. And I'm like, who did this?
That's a stylistic thing these days. Yeah, but I'm left thinking, you didn't finish this in the dress factory. You didn't finish this on the machine. No. Take this back and sew the back in it.
It's just not super modest. And we were raised to be, kind of wear modest clothes. And so it's just kind of hard to find because it's like everything's real short. And even the crop tops, oh my gosh, like, I promise, I'm not trying to, I don't want to offend anyone.
We won't turn this into a rant.
Yeah, I don't want to turn this into a rant, and I don't want to offend anyone, but like so many tops as well. I'll be like, oh man, I love this pattern.
There's no belly in it.
There's no belly. It's a crop top, and I'm like, what?
That ain't for me.
No.
Do whatever you need to do for yourself, but that's not for me. I like this because I feel like a school teacher from 1970.
Yeah, secretary dress.
This dress goes, I mean,
to your
almost to
knees.
my ankles.
Right. It does that too. Another thing that I like is the cut of the clothes.
The way the style, the way it was made.
The color, the way it's cut.
Yeah.
It's not only modest, but the other thing about shopping in a department store, at least recently, through the last several years that I found, is either it's totally like not modest at all, which is a problem, or it's like there's no seams, there's no nothing on the dress, and you're just wearing a gigantic bag.
A gigantic toe sack.
Yeah, and I also don't find that, like, super flattering. So one other thing that makes me, I think both of us love these old clothes is it's just kind of holding on to the past. And I think a lot of people in Appalachia do that. I mean, I think that's one of sort of the, I don't want to say characteristics of people. I don't want to speak for everyone, but at least for us. And the way the world is right now, and just a lot that's going on, and just things progressing so fast. I mean, everything now is on screens, and there's little robots. I mean, just all these things, you know, and we often joke and kind of say that we were not born in the right time, that we kind of missed our time. So all this stuff that we do, the kind of music we like to listen to or play, or just whatever, but especially with clothes, that's another way, I guess, sort of to hold on to the past, and that's just what we're interested in. We're not usually, and not that it's bad, people can be interested in anything they want to be interested in, and obviously there's many conveniences about modern society that I would miss if I didn't have, but we kind of enjoy wearing these clothes because it just kind of holds on to the past a little.
It does, and it reminds me, a lot of these clothes, I know that what I'm remembering is early 2000s, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, and that was well past the 70s. It was well past the 80s. I know, but I swear, I remember going to church and seeing some of the older ladies there who would have been somewhat young in the 70s wearing stuff like this. Yeah. I remember the shoulder pads. This dress has shoulder pads in it, which just kills me. But I do remember some of that. And I remember stuff that looked more like this, which is probably right. I mean, some of the old ladies in the church house there would have been wearing stuff like this in the 70s, and maybe they liked it and they continued to wear it. So it reminds me of this time that I so desperately wanted to be a part of, but just never was, because I missed the decade by about 20 years.
And every time, of course, has its, everything's relative. I mean, you just got to enjoy where you're at. So we definitely know that, but...
And polyester is not breathable. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that. And if you lived in 1970, I'm preaching to the choir. You know it's not breathable. However, it's very attractive, and you never have to iron it. That's why I love it.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome too. I'll be honest, like, this is bad, but I own maybe like 2 pieces of clothing that have to be ironed.
I don't own any of them because I won't iron it.
I don't like ironing. I have ironed polyester. I just, no, you can't iron polyester. So when we were graduating high school, we were going to graduate on the field, and it had rained all week. It was like muddy. A monsoon. They were concerned that if they could even have the graduation on the field, but the gymnasium would have been too small. So I had like this dress that I was going to wear that was actually my cousin's, and I had this all planned, and all the girls were trying to pick out heels that they were going to wear, which is funny. I never wore high heels, and then I eventually ended up wearing my super old cowboy boots with my dress and my gown, and I'm so glad I did, because the field was in standing water. But anyways, the dress that I was going to wear was polyester, and I guess we didn't realize it was polyester.
Yeah, some of it's, the newer stuff will fool you if it's really polyester or not. Yeah, and the top
was not polyester, so it was like it wasn't like a tank top, like the fabric, Lord, can I talk, come all the way out to here, but it was that kind of dress, and the top of it was like white, and I think it might have had a black stripe or 2 or something, but then the bottom of it was red, and that's what was polyester. And I guess Mom didn't realize it, and she took the iron to it and instantly burned a hole in it. And that was the dress I was going to wear, and I felt really bad because that was not my dress. It was my cousin's dress that we had burned a hole in, so, you know, I had to apologize to her for that. And I ended up wearing some other dress that was actually kind of hideous. It was like leopard print. If I find a picture, I'll put that in and show you guys. It was like this wasn't leopard print, excuse me, it was zebra. Oh gosh, it was hideous. But at that point, I was like, can we just graduate?
We don't have anything else. I wore one of my cousin's dresses. And if she sees this video, she'll probably remember lending those dresses. Yeah. Look at some of these clothes. I'll have Corey point out, like, some of them I got from Granny's house, but then there's some that she made, because Granny worked at the dress factory, and she could pretty much sew anything, so she would just buy the fabric and make it. I'll have Corey point those out.
That's one that come from Granny's, right?
Yep, this come from Granny's. Granny did not make this, but it did come from Granny's. Mama said she can remember Granny wearing this, and it fits me really good. One thing that I just absolutely adore about some of these clothes is the puff. They a lot of the sleeves in dresses or long sleeves, they would put a tighter cuff at the bottom, and then this material would puff out. They didn't tack it down, and this is the same thing in this little arm here. it's cinched. So when I put this on, it's puffy at the wrist. It's tight at the wrist, but the rest of it puffs back. And I just really like that. I feel like all of the attire in the 70s was so dressy and looked so snazzy and classy.
Okay, so now we want to show you guys the ones that Granny actually made. So this one is really cool.
It's like a suit jacket.
Yeah, I want to say that there was a skirt with this at some point.
I think there was.
But
somewhere.
this one is pretty cool. And then this dress, if I can get it, it actually has a little belt that goes around it. We've wore that for stuff too. I've wore that places, like when I was a young teen, but that's really sweet. It's one that,
it's made similar to the one I've got on.
And then this one, do you mind to hold both of those?
No.
And I'll hold up this one. This one is really special. So she actually made this for her mom. And this was one of her mom's favorite shirts. And then she kind of ended up back with it when her mom passed away. And she always kept this. And this shirt is special to Granny because she remembers her mom liking it so much. And I think she told me this was one of the favorite things she ever made. So I like to have this shirt. I think it's really pretty. Granny also made... I've got it tangled here. I can't get my hanger out. These pants.
These are kind of like, they're bell-bottomed at the bottom.
I actually wore these pants one time to a Halloween thing at college.
They are bell-bottomed, and they're kind of like a tweed.
Sort of, yeah. They're pretty cool.
Those are awesome.
The awesome mushroom shirt.
Yep. She made
Did you not like the mushrooms?
I wore that one time.
That's pretty neat. And then this skirt is like itty bitty, you know, it's meant to be real high-waisted. And there's still this fabric, there's a bunch of this fabric somewhere, I think still that we have. This come from the dress factory. I can't remember if I've wore that skirt or not. And then this is beautiful. We'll put a picture in of Katie wearing this.
It's a skirt.
There's actually a skirt. It's like a three-piece.
This is the skirt.
Yeah, like a three-piece outfit. This is really pretty.
The fun fact too is this white shirt that goes underneath that jacket was a long sleeve to begin with, and then at some point she decided to cut the sleeves out, and so now it's kind of about like the sleeves on this dress, how they come close to your elbow, like almost probably like a 3/4 sleeve type of deal. This is interesting though, as far as this kind of reminds me, I've seen lots of old skirts like this that probably come from the dress factory. I've got two of them back here. These, I dropped that one, that's okay, I'll get that later. These did not come from Granny, but they're the same kind of, especially this one, the same kind of fit. And this one's the 80s. That one's not the 70s probably, that's definitely the 80s. But these come from a yard sale. We went to a yard sale somewhere way up on the mountain, and they were at these people's house, and they were nice enough to let me go in their bathroom at their house and try these skirts on, and I've wore them a lot, both of them. At a thrift shop. It's got a, it's not silk, but a slick lining, and then this outside layer here, the shell is actually wool. But that reminded me of like them checkered skirts some women would wear in the 70s.
And thrift stores are a good place to find wool. We love wool. Like, I think of wool as being like, oh yeah, that's, you know, really nice expensive stuff. Wool, cashmere, whatever. But I think a lot of people don't like it because it's itchy. But some of the more like merino wools or anything that's been super washed is not as scratchy.
Yeah, I read the tag. The lining's actually polyester, and then the shell is wool.
So Katie recently got me one for our birthday that I really like. I was going to see if it had a tag. I don't think it does. I didn't find a tag in it the other day. Thank you. I like this one though. It's honestly kind of a pretty funky pattern, but
it's kind of paisley. It's kind of got a paisley pattern.
Yeah, but I like the browns on it, and it's just, I don't know, it's just pretty. And I like the pattern, but I like the way it's made. Like, it's kind of thick, and I like the collar and all the kind of seam work on it. I like that kind of basic style of it because it just looks nice. You know what I'm saying? Some of the blouses now, these days, other blouses that I have, they just get like frumpy. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, they don't hold that
just
stretches the polyester, the rayon too.
And I like the little buttons on it, so I like this one. I've worn it a couple times now.
That reminds me of something that would have been, might have been worn at a disco. When I think of disco, I think of those big collars.
Yeah.
And really big collars.
I like the collar. The collar's nice, but On some of the shirts that are flannel that I have, because I like flannels too that are cotton, they're nice, but the collar gets like messed up all the time, and all it takes is like, and you guys know this, is just for like maybe an hour of it being flipped up the wrong way, and then it will not come back unless you iron it.
That's the best thing about polyester. It holds its shape.
Being twins growing up, just thinking about clothes, like, until, well, we still share clothes now even, but like when we were growing up and we were in the same room, there was one set of clothes. There was no such thing as a separate set. It was just, you get one set, you gotta fight over who wants to wear what.
Yeah, and we shared the room, so
yeah,
when we were little and shared the room, we had this little wood table and wood chairs. Under that table and the little chairs, every morning to go to school, Mom would put out outfits
she
for
would
us
probably
to wear.
do it like on Sunday, where there was like 7 outfits
for each of us or whatever, and that was it. You didn't go to the closet and get anything else out. You picked what was laying folded in the floor, be a pair of pants or a skirt or a little dress or something, in a shirt, and you wore what was in the floor, and you picked what was under the table and the chairs. That was all else. You picked, or you got your butt busted.
And looking back, that was really clever of her, because trying to let 2 little kids like us try to pick our own clothes, and we probably would have fought, that would have been a nightmare. She had it set to where we knew you pick one of these and that's it.
I will say we had 2 shirts, and man, it'd be a deep dive to try to find them and a picture. Maybe we could. We both had 2 shirts, and they were kind of a polyester material. They weren't necessarily polyester, but they were slick, kind of how polyester is. One was red and one was purple, like a dark purple, and they were little short sleeve button ups, and they were dark. Do you remember those?
No.
They were darling. I wore the purple one and Corey wore the red one. And I don't think that I ever wore the red one. Only Corey did, and I wore the purple one. And we would wear those sometimes. That was kindergarten. Because that's what I remember about kindergarten. The boy that always took my nap spot under the pinball machine. And I remember the time I went outside and I wasn't supposed to go outside, and the door shut behind me and I had to knock to get back in, and I got in trouble because the teacher had to let me in. And then them shirts.
2 more that I really like, and I've wore a lot. I actually had this in, I was going to say high school, maybe not, but I've had these for a long time, and they come from kind of a funny place. I'll show you the dress, too. I've wore this dress a lot. This is more like, I think, a 60s style dress, because it's real short. It's like a go-go dress, almost. So these actually come from an interesting place. There's a house right next to a gas station in our little bitty town where we live, and there was a yard sale there one time, and that house, literally, like, you could throw a rock from the gas station and hit it. You wouldn't really even have to throw it very hard.
You could probably touch both at the same time.
Yeah, it's that close, and that house has always been there, and, you know, we've always passed it and been a little bit curious about it. So a couple years ago, there was a yard sale there, and we were like, what? Okay. So we stopped and went in, and the old lady who lived there, the mother had passed away, and so the kids had to come back and kind of go through stuff, and they were having a yard sale. And
in the house,
and then there was some stuff in the yard. I just forgot until now. I got like a crochet blanket from the yard, another really old blanket. I'm trying to think if I still have those. But anyway, these clothes were there, and they were just still hanging in the closet. And it was kind of like walking back in time to this house, and everything was like that. It looked like it was from like maybe 60s, 70s. And I just remember finding these like hanging up in the closet, and I'm like, wow, these are really pretty. And I don't remember if we were even able to try them on, but I just bought them, and I wore this dress lots and lots to gigs. I wore this shirt yesterday. So I just think that's kind of funny.
Well, and one funny thing to mention about it is that yard sale wasn't that when we were going to college? And I
think so.
They would go through stuff, and then as they went through stuff in the house, open up different rooms that they had priced stuff with and organized. And every morning on the way to college, because we went to college somewhere that's very close, so then we drove back and forth every day. And on the way to college one morning, we saw a sign that said yard sale, and we saw that house, and we were like, yeah, let's stop. So we stopped several mornings on the way to college. We'd load the car up with what we'd bought, drive to college, come back home, and go through it. And it sounds cheesy, but it's like one of the sweetest memories I can possibly think of. Is like, I'm not going to get teary-eyed about the polyester.
Gosh, oh my
How embarrassing. But it was so sweet because it was just me and Corey. We were going to college.
Aww, that's sweet. I didn't know
it was
that.
Pre-COVID and pre-everything that seems so stressful now. And we just stop at this yard sale And it was just so exciting to figure out what we were going to find. And I can't remember if this come from there or if it come from somewhere else. I'm dropping hangers. But this brand, Act 3, this shirt is the same brand. That was a really popular brand in
I love this shirt.
the 70s. And it's got like...
hold it up a little more.
It's got like deer, like little deer and stuff. There's a picture of me wearing this somewhere, and we can put that in there. This is getting a little tight these days, but it was so fun because it was like that stuff had just been in the closet and never come out. And it was in this bedroom. It was a split level house in this small bedroom with like the
shag carpet.
Yep, 70s carpet. It was awesome. So sweet memory there of, and this is original stuff that somebody would have been wearing to who knows who wore this to what they wore it. I like to think somebody wore one of these things to an REO Speedwagon concert. So I got this dress on eBay. This is a Kenny's Classics. This was a real popular brand. And it's got a little belt. It's got the shoulder pads in there. This is mint. I mean mint. Somebody must have put this up and just never wore it. And I got it not knowing if it would fit or not. And it fits really well. Something you have to realize with the sizing is so different. This is a size 12 and it fits. Which that's not necessarily a big size, but also can wear like 6s and 8s and stuff. So it's just the sizing has changed over the years. And if you're not aware of that, you'll get something off eBay that doesn't fit. So I threw some of those. Again, I really like this one. Me and Christelle was a really popular brand back then. And something that I really like about this is there's no buttons, it's all one piece. This V is just built in with the collar. It's just comfortable. Let's see, I got this one. This is a Alfred Dunner. That's another popular one. This is one with the bow at the top. And it ties. It's another just fun little... I got this one at a thrift shop in town. And it's that same Act 3 brand. A lot of the stuff in the 70s was sheer. So you had to wear a slip or something under it. This is sheer. So you can't. You have to wear something under this. And it's got the bow that ties at the top. These have to be some of my favorite. This is that Marty Modes, New York. And I have 2 of these. One in a short sleeve. Oh, goodness. It's got the big collar. That's why I love this. It's got that V and the huge collar. One in a short sleeve. And then I have one just like it in a long sleeve. Because that's how much I like this one. Then I have another. This is actually, I thought it was Marty Modes, but this is JSE California. I really, really like this one. It's got them skinny little, look at that button. It's just too darling. And it's a good thick, it's not sheer. And then this one, this was the one that's the other Marty Modes. And it's just like it's about too little for me. I need to let Corey have it. But I love that big, exaggerated collar. It's just so funny. That looks like it ought to be in a couch cover. You know? Got that one. This is another one of those that's sheer. This is Devon, however you want to say it. It's another popular one, but it is sheer. You have to wear something under it. And it's scratchy. None of the polyester I have is scratchy, but this, it's scratchy. And then this one, oh, we forgot this one. Granny made this one. The seam is ripping a little bit on the side there, but that's just a really pretty cute little, almost has a Hawaiian feel.
I know.
I like them little pearl buttons. So this is a 3/4 sleeve, and it's actually hemmed there, which is really sweet. She made that one. Corey got this for me for our birthday, and it's become one of my favorites because it's very interesting. It has the buttons, but it just comes down to that V and stops. It's, does that say Teddy?
I think so.
Of California. But it's really cool, and it's got them same thing, those little cuff sleeves. Corey, that was very sweet. I really like this.
That's a pretty one.
This is one that was Granny's. She didn't make this, but it was hers. And this little collar here ties.
It's one of my favorites.
It is, yeah. And it's got that little cinch, so it'll puff when you wear it. Corey was lucky enough to let me have this one for a while and wear it. And then
you were lucky enough.
Yeah, I didn't mean...
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, Corey's lucky enough that I got it.
I know what you mean.
This is Mayor Lang Marquise, which is hilarious. M&M. They were in Atlanta, Georgia. I love this one. It's sheer, so you have to wear something under it, a slip or something, but it ties here at the sleeve. I got this for my birthday from Mom. I really like this one. I love the pattern. And then some more of these down on the bottom are Corey, so why don't we let Corey talk about those? This is one that I really like. It's 3/4 sleeve. I do think there's a picture somewhere of me wearing this, so I'll show that for you guys. And it's got this kind of collar that comes all the way down, and it has pockets. Ooh. So I really like that one. This is one, I don't remember if Granny made this or it was just hers. I want to say she made it, to be honest. But it's really pretty too. And then this is one that I think Katie got me for birthday. I just really like the paisley print.
Especially
and then
the buttons.
These sleeves definitely have a puff once you button them up.
Those. And then this is one of my favorites that I've got recently. This is just another button up, but it's really cute. There's a picture of me in this, so we'll put it in there for you guys. And then this dress is really pretty. It's too hot still to wear this dress right now.
It's heavy.
But it is heavy, but this dress is really pretty. From my grandma, and it's just thick. Stuff was made so much better back then, so I look forward to getting to wear that. It's going to have to cool off a little, though. This one is really pretty. I'm afraid it's too big for me, but it's also really nice. I like that crushed velvet kind of thing. That was still around in the 90s.
That was a 90s thing,
We had some awesome crushed velvet dresses in the 90s. And then one more dress. This dress is neat because it's wool.
Wow.
It is, so probably wouldn't want to wear that in the summer, but you could put maybe a long sleeve under it in the winter, but it's really pretty and just kind of plain. So you might be wondering where we did buy some of the ones that we bought. As we have said, some of them come from thrift stores, some of them come from yard sales, but then some of them come from online. There's a really neat place that Katie found recently online called Gem, like G-E-M. It's just an app too. I just have it as an app on my phone. And then it will search like the whole internet for you. So it's not really a clothing site itself. It's more like a search engine. So then you can just type in like vintage clothes, secretary dress, whatever. You can get like really specific, and then it will pull it up on Etsy or on eBay or just wherever else it's listed. And that has been really fun too. I could look at that probably for hours. Waste a lot of my time.
I could too. I get a lot of mine directly off eBay. Like all the Marty Mode stuff come from eBay, and I was really impressed to find my match there, like the short sleeve, just like my long sleeve. So some of the other ones I have, I'm wondering if maybe there's something like that, a short sleeve to match. But this is what I love to do. I love this.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you found this maybe fun or entertaining. It's a little bit different from what we usually do, but it's kind of in the same vein.
It's about us. I mean,
yeah, it's about us.
If you notice, there's a common theme in all the videos, and we're there.
Yes, no, that's true, but it's also, I feel like in the same vein of just liking older things and kind of harkening back always to the old ways. But we hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop in the comments below. Let us know about what kind of clothes you like. What kind of clothes you don't like. Anyways, just let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, and I bet you there's some of you out there that remembers wearing this stuff in the 70s. Of course. You have to tell us what you did, and anything you feel like sharing with us related to this polyester party in the comments will be appreciated.
But until then, we'll catch you at the next video.
Okay. Imagine if you wore all these at the same time. You put them all on. And you would be like out to here, but it would be like polyester power. You'd be like so strong you could do anything. You're probably really itchy and somewhat hot. Corey, what about you? Do you have one in there that you want to...
I gotta take a break. I'm sweaty.
Okay. Whatever. The fantastic mushrooms.
Fantastic mushrooms.
Best thing about cornbread. And I only wish this was a whole big thing of milk and I would just drop it out of sight. I don't want to wait anymore. I'm done!
Good point.
Maybe Granny ate popcorn while wearing that dress.
Maybe she went and seen a movie and ate popcorn in this dress.
If you wear this polyester, you will be healthy. See, that's what people don't realize. Some of these old mammas that's still wearing the polyester, that's why they're 90 years old and alive. It's the power of the polyester.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't know, get like this, you'll block more, but like try to, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for watching!
Let me do it again.
It was so good I was gonna shed a tear. Crying for the quality of the video.
Okay,
I'm
ready?
hungry. I want more of that cornbread. We wrap this up. Okay. We're storming the Area 51! What? Okay, just joking. This is a video strictly about polyester. No aliens allowed. Okay, and it's for sale.
That's true.
Want to buy it?
Yeah.
It's a dump!
So,
Squirrel status!
I'm trying to remember what you had just said.
No vintage clothing video would be complete without showing you my grandma's 1980s tracksuit. Mama says she remembers Granny wearing this with her sneakers, I guess in the 80s. That probably would have been. It's actually ridiculously comfortable. And then when you walk, you can hear the tracksuit sound. Hey, this is the coolest. And just in case you were to get hot and overheated, don't worry. Don't worry, you got some ventilation there. Some ventilation in my 1980s tracksuit.